Good morning. Welcome back to Knicks Morning Coffee, episode 13. All right, today we're going to discuss some things we know in our last time that we met. The Knicks weren't doing too good, and then fortunately they had two more games since then, and then those turned out to be losses as well. The Boston game, we thought that we went to Boston, so we thought we could put up a big fight, and we fought back and we hung in there for a little bit. But again, down the stretch, costly turnovers. It's just something about that with this team that right now I can't truly put my finger on. I got a little idea, but right now I'm trying not to panic. And then we go to Sacramento, which actually Sacramento came to us, which should have been a win. Now, you can't say that when both teams had the same record with just one win, but still, when they come into your home, and we said our new culture is to protect home court, that's going to be our identity. And then they just came in here and then they just put a beat down on us that, coach, just take that game and throw it out the window, because there was no positives really in that game. If you really can look at it from top to bottom, Morris, he did his thing a little bit, but that's just not enough. But anyway, with that said, there's some hot topics out there about the Knicks that I really try to stay away from the normal stuff that everybody talking about, because you can get that everywhere, and again, there's some good content out there, on YouTube. So I like all of it, but the one about people calling for coach to be fired, and then the Garden, they gave Fizdale a pass last year, but the fans was the fire Fizz. I don't even know about that yet. I'm not jumping on that bandwagon. It's 7 games in. We're not doing what we said we was going to be doing. In terms of Fizz setting the identity and setting the culture. I personally haven't seen it. I'm still stuck for some reason on the Chicago game at home in that fourth quarter, the way we fought back and win, because the Knicks have a history of fighting back in the games. This has been going on since the 90s. We can get back in any game. Heck, it's been going on since the 80s. We can get back in any game, no matter what we down, but it's always crossing over that threshold. That's what's been our problem. So this year, I just thought with that mix of young and old that we was going to finally put that part together. But for everybody or most people just to jump on totally firing Fizdale, let's give the man a chance, and not even because of the injuries, because we're deep at a lot of positions. Now we not all-star deep, but we still deep. So I think we should just give him more time to sort out, because maybe it's just something he thought was gonna happen and it didn't happen. But the part that I don't really get with Fizz right now is that when you see 2-3 possessions starting to slip away and you don't make the necessary correction, then that tells me something's wrong. And then when it just start getting to 6-7 possessions and all you seeing is turnovers and bad shots, now that's, the players should know better, but there's a whole row of coaches that should stop the bleeding right away. Just calling a timeout and addressing one little thing that's going on out there during those bad stretches, that's not going to get it. You got to earn your money. You scouted the team that you're going to play. You had practice probably the day before the game. You did your walkthroughs in the morning. So something's not carrying over on the court, and it's not carrying over right from the jump ball. We shouldn't have to keep fighting to get in games. So Fizdale, no, I don't want you to be fired. I really do think you got a brilliant basketball mind. I just think somewhere right now you're looking overwhelmed at this position, especially being in New York City. But I'm rolling with you for right now. I'm not happy with everything that you're doing. And you shouldn't be happy with the performance that your team is putting down and what you're doing either. But for right now, you're our coach. You talk a great game. I'm sold, but let's get the W's. While we wait, let's get the W's. Now, the other topic that's I see circulating around, again, this is a topic that I've been talking about since before the season, is that Morris taking all the shots. And I know some people are saying, but they're throwing the ball to him. But Morris, that's not your game. your game is not to come down court, razzle dazzle, whatever you want to do, and then put up a shot. Let's go through. Now, this is gonna sound crazy to some because I was in the beginning of the season. I was just big on the young guys not getting all this burn this way, only because I thought the Knicks was going to be in rebuild mode. So I was like, why'd you bring in all these, veterans if you were in rebuild mode? But Barrett, that's my man right now. I think the game should run through Barrett, and when Barrett gets it and make his move, and then he finds a guy like you, Morris, then you do your thing. When you find a guy like Portis, who I kind of feel bad for Portis, because we just can't throw Portis in there and just because we down and think he's going to have the same kind of game he had late in the game in Chicago. But let's call his number throughout the course of the game. We know what the man can do. Get the mismatch and let the man do his work. All right, and that's how we're going to stay in games. But, Barrett and even Knox, I think it might be time, maybe after a few more games, that because Randall, I don't know what to say about Randall right now, but I think it might be time to bring Knox into the starting lineup with Morris. I think if Knox is going to learn, I think he's going to have to learn alongside Morris, and then Knox can begin, make your move, and you see yourself, in trouble, or, we're supposed to be moving on offense. That's when you find a guy like Morris. And now his 20 points makes more sense. The 28, 29, 30, and the way that we're losing, to me, it just don't make sense. They're supposed to be additions to our team, the new guys, not the whole team. So again, coach, game plan. Let's come out. Who we got? Detroit. Okay, so I read you're going to start Mitchell Robinson tonight. You have to start Mitchell Robinson against Drummond. You see what Drummond is doing. He's tearing the league up right now, scoring and rebounding. The man is a bully. I think he finally put his game together. But let's just don't start Mitchell Robinson because he can't solely guard Drummond. But if we're going to start him out there on defense against Drummond, let's make sure he gets some touches. Let's get him in about 10 pick and rolls, and let's throw it down there into him a little bit. Let's see what he's been working on. But right now, we got Mitch out there looking like a ghost. We're not going to him, no how, no way, and no shape or form. He getting a couple of things off the rim, maybe one pick and roll, but, we need to recognize when he's out there, and then we need to target his skill set. But, back to with Marcus Morris, I don't see him as being our main man, but I think that if we work through some other guys, just like Barrett, that a guy like Morris and Portis and even Wayne Ellington, I think their games will be more sufficient for us because nobody has a great shooting percentage, on our team right now. And then too, Michael Edwards, your comment about Fizdale late in the games, is it non-coaching, or lack of coaching as far as how he's diagramming plays? And you was right on both because we're not getting anything, and then that was a good recognition too because we're not getting anything really from Fizz. We see him calling the timeouts. It looked like his hand is motioning for plays, but as soon as I see Fizz's hand go up for a play, the first thing I do is I look at the way we coming down. I look at where the spacing is, who's where on the court, and where they probably should go. And then as soon as the first movement is made, everything to me breaks down. Like I don't see, it's like so much chaos. I don't see what we developing. And I'm usually pretty good at picking out a play. And hell, he got me confused. So, and then at the end of the day, a basket is not even coming at the end of those plays. So, it's just a lot of things now that the Knicks, I'm not jumping off the Fizdale coaching bandwagon, but I just think that, we need to get this thing together. To me, it has nothing to do with injuries. That's why you pay all them guys. Injuries, that's going to come later on in the season. But right now, let's just weather the storm. Let's weather the storm. I mean, somebody, Sidney Vass, what we call him Scotty, had pointed out to me that in one of my early episodes that I was saying, play the young guys because that's why we got all them guys. And I think that was, out of my own mouth, it came out wrong. What I meant to say was, at the time, play the veterans because that's why we brought them in. But now, since then, my tune has changed. I'm a hypocrite. After seeing Barrett all those games, I got to roll with them. All right, so again, just get on YouTube and like, comment, subscribe. But tonight in the fourth quarter, we're gonna go live. We're gonna go live, talk about the fourth quarter. This way, you get to chime in. But my numbers aren't up there yet. But I need y'all to chime in on Joe Cool King's Instagram page. All right, chime in on his page and link in, and then we're gonna go live and watch the fourth quarter together. And let's just talk about some of the stuff that we see. Hopefully by the fourth quarter, we're not blown out, and we can enjoy it. But, let's do this thing together, step by step. So live, fourth quarter of tonight's game, logging to Joe Cool King. We'll put it down on the bottom so you can see it. And again, see y'all later, and y'all have a blessed day. Peace.